And he became a man. That's all there is to it. He became a man tonight. He needed this fight for validation.
Hello. This is so strange to hear because, of course, he's a man, but you could hear him saying it and you can hear Oscar De La Hoya saying it, and for some reason, this was just the vibe after all that had transpired. Ryan Garcia had become a man, a fighter who was smashing everyone in the early rounds due to his sheer speed and power, his remarkable physical gifts cultivated and tempered through hard work from childhood. It's as if there was always this scent in the air. He was so much better than much of his competition that he never had a real test. He was just too sharp, precise, too quick, too powerful, knocking or tactical knocking out almost everyone either in the first or second round. That's what happens when you just that much better, when talent meets legitimate hard work. That's just what happens, and tragically, the byproduct of that is most people don't really know how good you are. That's ironic, isn't it? It's like a paradox. No matter how truly remarkable you are, people, they just don't see it. If you don't face and overcome adversity, struggle, people have no idea as to how they're going to gauge you. It's as Sun Tzu had said, neither is it the acme of excellence if you fight and conquer, and the whole empire says, well done. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. People who have not studied in a particular field, regardless of their discipline, they cannot appreciate the details of what is happening, the intricacies, the strategy, the subtleties perfected under midnight oil. What we all do know, though, is pain, overcoming pain and struggle, suffering. That is a story we all understand very well. This is why Sun Tzu says it's actually a bad thing when the whole empire says well done. When you make the victory look easy, when your dominance is just that supreme, people, they just cannot appreciate it, and the masterful general should seek just that, to seek as much of a nation as he can, all the while retaining as much of his as possible all the same. That is exactly why Sun Tzu had also said, to capture the enemy's entire army is better than to destroy it. To take intact a regiment, a company, or a squad is better than to destroy them. For to win 100 victories in 100 battles is not supreme excellence. To subdue the enemy without fighting, that is supreme excellence. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. That's exactly what Ryan Garcia has been doing, or something along those lines at very least. Through his discipline, his hard work, and natural aptitudes cultivated from a young age, his talent, he took up much of his competition without ever really seeming like he was facing too much resistance, and because of that, people just did not have the gauge for how truly good he was. They just did not understand from the level he was operating at. They wanted to see heart, they wanted to see grit, resilience in the face of pain. How would he come back from that? How would his pretty face handle pain? That is the story we were all forced to bear. That is what we wished to see. Thus, on that night, the pretty boy without a scratch on his face found himself not only clipped throughout the fight, but also cracked clean, hard, dropping him. Some could have thought he would have been out, but it was remarkable. That same punch that would have put so many out, or at least dazed them, injured them, hurt them, at very least could have had them compromised throughout the rest of the fight. To Ryan Garcia, it somehow did nothing but show how mentally resilient Ryan Garcia was. That's what people wanted to see. When facing visible adversity, when facing pain, struggle, when subjected to wrath, how will your character bear? Who are you under that pretty face? Ryan Garcia, he showed us what could demoralize one. Had Ryan Garcia regained himself like a phoenix, that's why it was so special to him all the same. He felt that same energy all the same, and he shared it. You could feel the adversity he himself had to overcome. He proved not just to the world, but especially to himself, that he truly is a fighter through and through. He could take a devastating, looping shot and just still be in there, regardless of what you see on the surface. The book itself is inked with a will that will continue to fight. That's what we saw from Ryan Garcia, and truly, it was incredible to watch. One of the most entertaining bouts of our time for that exact same reason. We saw a man's soul to bear, and truly, it was more than most had expected. Who would have thought a pretty face like this could take a looping shot like that and just come back? With that said, let's now take a closer glance at what made this fight-ending liver shot. What I've noticed from Ryan is that his lead hook is the most devastating when his opponent is actually shorter than him. And with the way his lead hook would sling out automatically, like a sniper the moment Luke Campbell lowered his level to go for the body. Even here, notice how his lead lowers like it normally does to maximize its power. But then just watch that, the trajectories to armpit. It's as if his lead hook has its optimal mechanical advantage when he has a height advantage and when he's fading away. Even here, just note how he always drops his hand to accelerate his punch off his ligaments, tendons, and fascia. But with the way Luke's whole body moved, it seemed as though Ryan Garcia struck his shoulder instead. Just look at that. He's pushing the torso first, the head didn't move at all. Just think about that. Ryan Garcia is a devastating power puncher. When he connects clean, their behavior changes. If his power connected clean against the head, for sure, we would have seen it move just a little bit out of position before the body moved. Usually, Ryan could just ding his opponent on his temple once, and instantly, the shock sent through their brain will completely change the course of the fight. But here, because Luke is closer to his height, and of course has the same reach, even here with a slight duck and raise of the guard, he can ramp the punch-off trajectory. Of course, this is also contributed to by the fact that Luke Campbell is a southpaw. Landing up high just wasn't as successful versus Luke, especially with Luke being a southpaw. Look, Ryan would often take an inside foot to secure his lead hand, and it worked with his jabs great, but not the same way with that devastating lead hook. But in covering that distance, Luke had the time to respond defensively. He couldn't really return fire against Ryan's lead hand, his lead hook, because he's so insanely fast. Trying to beat him to the punch could still mean taking a ding to the side of the head, and we've all seen what that means, shot for shot. Even if they both connected at the same time, it just wouldn't be worth it with the amount of power Ryan Garcia is generating. But overall, he was managing Ryan Garcia's shot up high very well because of the distance Ryan would have to travel past that lead foot, and because Luke Campbell could deflect the punch with his mirroring lead hand. It's in every lead hook. You can see him drop his arm, and you're seeing the trajectory of the punch come upwards from a downward angle, and each time he has his strike deflected up into the air. With the raise of the guard, the strike is ramped off. Note also his elbow position. It's lower than a textbook lead hook. This isn't textbook form for a lead hook, but it allows a mechanical advantage in that he can leverage more of his pectoral muscle to accelerate the blow from his hips. This is part of the reason why his lead hook is so very fast. Again, versus a shorter opponent, perhaps also not a southpaw, he would have already dinged him like he always does, and that one touch off the temple often just ends the fight either in the first round or in the second round. But here, rising from that downward angle against the high guard, the angle paired with the height has the punch clash with the guard. Fyodor Emelianenko has a Russian hook or casting punch which wouldn't deal with the same problem, where he rotates his fist over when dealing his hook. This allows him to maintain his knockout power from a different angle of attack, which is why he could often take out opponents much bigger than him. Consistently, he could crack and take out opponents bigger than him. But with the angle it provided and the fluid deliverance of power it provided, the trade is an increased risk in damaging your scapula. You're more likely to hurt yourself doing this kind of punch. And so, finding that signature lead hook up high, it just wasn't as easy for Ryan Garcia. But man, does Ryan Garcia have a chin. He didn't seem phased at all when he ate that looping left clean. Luke Campbell was sneaky with this, as he was consistently programming to the body, then threw the punch like how Triple G would. Feinting the trajectory or angle of the punch low to the body. Look at how off that recoil, he instead transitions up high. It's beautiful. It clearly looked like he was going to the body. The way he lowered or dropped his hand to load the punch, only to recoil deeper and alter its trajectory up high. That was a haymaker to the face. If anyone had questions, Ryan Garcia just took a straight up haymaker clean and then came back like it wasn't even a big deal. He came back lucid, composed. The fact he ate this and consistently ate shots throughout the course of the fight, yet remained completely lucid, is testament enough. The young man isn't just a pretty face. He's a warrior through and through. He is built for combat. From there, that one time Luke Campbell was caught reaching and pinning his back foot, it opened up his guard and gave Ryan Garcia both the perfect angle and opening to deliver this. This is just what happens when Ryan Garcia dings the temple clean. The bell definitely saved Luke from a possible finish, but now, the punch that finished the fight. Luke Campbell took a few of these, but he had great composure. But just considering how Francis Ngannou has trouble taking just a few of these without a chest protector, and even with the chest protector, you can see changes in his reaction, this young man, simply put, just generates a dangerous level of power. Ryan Garcia isn't throwing textbook boxing lead hooks. He's doing the same thing Naoya Inoue does, accelerating off his fascia, ligaments, tendons, and the lightning he slings is just not the same tier of force as a result of that. Thus, even if Luke Campbell wore it well initially, just the force he generates would change Luke's behavior. If he touches you anywhere, you're going to respond to it, you're going to acknowledge it. Thus, naturally, will create more openings up high. Nonetheless though, one touch from that bolt of lightning, instantly, he'd have to go back to defending his head. The risk is just too great, but the moment he did, Ryan Garcia read the behavior. Boom! Ryan Garcia retains the mechanical advantage targeting the body. You could see the shot send out ripples throughout Luke Campbell's skin. If you've ever been hit with a good body shot, it's not even a matter of the pain. You just can't move. Your legs, your body, it just doesn't respond. You seize up. At that point, it's just not mental anymore. Ryan Garcia sending out ripples with a punch. He taps people even through chest protector. Just think about that. Luke Campbell's reaction. It's very warranted. It's insane he remained composed through a few of those actually. But this one here was just the straw that broke the camel's back. With that said, no one can say Ryan Garcia is just an untested boy with a pretty face now. He's a man who's endured and overcome real adversity. Here Ryan Garcia is, coming back from good shots, walking down a skilled opponent, and simply put, just crushing him with both his technical ability and heart. Truly, thank you Ryan Garcia for the privilege to watch. Thank you to all of you for watching. I truly do appreciate it. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma, and until next time, peace.